Sometimes putting information into a Google Doc is easier if you use a table. Tables allow us to have columns and rows that are defined, and we can type information in them. So in my document, I'm going up to the plus, which is my add or insert. I'm going down to table, and notice I can select how many columns and how many rows I have just by adjusting the arrows. So let's do that. And then I'm going to insert the table. From here, I'm just going to type in, let's imagine we took a survey of favorite colors. So we'll just put in some information here. Whoops. And we'll put in some numbers. Just a different way to display information. And again, the columns and rows help define this a little bit. So there are lots of options when I want to go edit this. So if I select the whole table by going up to this little square in the corner, notice it highlights all of my rows and columns here. Now any changes I make to this affect the entire table. So if I come up to my font choices, and I go to text, and I change the font, notice it changes the entire table. So again, if you select this little this little square in the upper left corner, any changes you make to the table affect the entire table. Now let's say I want these cells to come down a little bit more. So I have the whole table selected again, and this time I'm coming down to these little bars and dragging, and because I have the entire table selected, it adjusts all of the cells. And depending on which way I have my page laid out, I can adjust this way too with these 3 bars, because that certainly doesn't need to take up my whole thing. Okay, so you can do different things. So if I go back and select my table, I can go up here to my A again, and this is if I wanted to add columns or rows, I could do it this way. There's fill color, so if I wanted to fill the whole thing a certain color, I could. I'm going to go back and pick no color for now. I could even change my borders. So right now my border color is black, maybe I want it blue. And I go back, and the width right now is 1 point. Maybe I want it really thick, like 6 points. And maybe I want dashed lines. Well, that looks horrible. But the point is I can change all of these things. Now, if I wanted to color in just a certain row, what I did was I came over here to select the row. I'm coming to my fill color, and maybe I want that to be blue. Coming back over here, selecting this, and I can come up to my fill color, which is my paint bucket up here. I can say red and so forth. And what's nice then is I can still move my cursor, and I can still type text underneath it, which is really handy. So there's a lot more you can do with a table, but this will just give you an idea of how to use a table on Google Docs for iPad.